Yo guys, what's going on? It's Acez here today with another video. In today's video, we're talking about Battlestate Games and Escape From Tarkov. I mean, what else would we be talking about, honestly? But do me a favor, guys. Make sure you drop it a like, and of course, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have one other huge favor to ask of you guys, man. Can you head to my third channel, Acez Plays? We are 85 subscribers off of being monetized. We're at 915 subs. Your support would be greatly appreciated if you guys could head over there. Just sub for like a week. If we all just drop a sub right now, we can get that bitch monetized, and then we're good. We're cooking. So I would greatly appreciate that support, guys. But in today's video, we are talking about credit where credit is due. Battlestate Games has been making a huge effort to make Escape from Tarkov better. And what's actually crazy is since my last video, which is going on 3 weeks old, which was the catalyst that Tarkov needed, which was my original response a day after Goatmoth's video came out, the wiggle that killed Tarkov, or whatever the hell the title was. I've actually made about 7, 8, maybe even 10 videos since that, and I've released none of them because each and every day, Battlestate Games seems like they're making some sort of decent change, and there's been so much happening that I just never upload the videos because I was too far behind. I would record the video, go to edit it, and then, I'd fall behind there. And then the next day, something new happens that renders some of the information obsolete. So with that being said, I uploaded none of them. And yeah, that wasn't financially smart to do, but here we are. So, Battlestate Games has been doing what I would say a great job lately. We talk a lot of smack on Battlestate because recently they weren't reading the room, they weren't making changes that we liked, and they just weren't doing anything about the cheating, and they weren't doing anything about a lot of the issues in the game. And, for the longest time, we had cheaters rampant, we had the invisibility bug, which, of course, has now been fixed, and we had so many other things that were actually game-breaking, where we could not play Escape from Tarkov, and it just was not a good start to this wipe. It simply was not great. But in the last almost 3 weeks now, since Goat's video, we have had a ton of changes from Battlestate Games. Now, I do want to point out that it was a lot of work being done by Battlestate within probably the last 2 weeks, and it has slowed down a little bit since around March 10th. We saw a ton of changes happening. We saw, I believe, an entire hotfix. We saw some improvements to the anti-cheat where a lot of the cheaters basically lost access to their cheats. And probably the biggest thing that has happened since is that it looks like they did get an entire cheating company shut down over in Korea or China. I don't want to say specifically which one it is because I currently don't remember off the top of my head. But feel free to correct me in the comments down below. It was either Korea or China. And the entire company went offline. It got shut down by whatever government that was, that cheat provider in the server rooms or whatever the hell was being, taking place in. So it seems like Battlestate Games has really put their foot on the gas. And honestly, I'm not surprised. We saw a lot of heat come off Goat's video. I want to say it probably has 3 million views by now, but I haven't checked in a while. I think the last time I looked, it was at like 1.3, 1.7 mil. So I would assume by now it's probably a 3. And that's a lot of heat. And the only way to kind of bring the heat down is to, extinguish some of the fire. And what they did was start banning cheaters. They are now releasing the usernames of all the cheaters they're banning, and of course the RMTs as well, which they might be grouping in. But since Goat's video, they have publicly announced that they have banned over 8,700 cheaters. And that's great news. But we also don't know how many players are actually cheating in general. So maybe this is just a small amount or an incredible amount. We just don't know. But here's the other thing, guys. We have seen a lot of other great changes, and one that, sticks out the most to me, as my channel is fairly based around it, is a huge flea market change, which was the removal of barter player to player. You can no longer barter items with other players at all. And I think that's a huge change. And I've said it for the longest time that the flea market, with how it is in the current state of the game and the fight against RMT, either needs to be completely removed from the game, or it needs to be completely reverted to like 12.3, 12.6 era, where it doesn't matter the found and raid status, and everything was just you buy, resell, do whatever you need to do. There was one point in time, guys, where I would buy 500 light bulbs for 7,000 and then flip them for 14,000 rubles. Making money in Tarkov was never easier, but at the same time, stuff cost a lot back in the old wipes. Like it was very expensive just to buy gear off of the flea, but because you could make so much money so quickly in almost any way that you wanted, and because you could sell literally everything, it was great because you have pretty much an infinite amount of cash that you can make, and it's a super hyperinflated economy, but it works. And, I think the recent change is good with no barters anymore, but at the same time, I think either just remove the flea market or revert it back to what it was when it was just a free-for-all. That's just my opinion. We saw a ton of other great changes come out of Battlestate Games. We had that Q&A on Reddit, which some of the stuff that Nikita was talking about actually, came to fruition with one of their hot fixes or patches. I can't remember what it was. We also saw another huge change being the flea market rep. Now you can get that third slot at level 7, I believe it is now, instead of level 30. Much more achievable. So, we're definitely seeing some changes that are good for the players, and it feels like it's been a long time since we said that. So, honestly, I think we got to give Battlestate Games a little bit of credit, and that's why the video should be titled something along the lines of credit where credit is due, because, they do deserve some credit for how much they've been trying. I mean, they've really, really been trying. So, I gotta say, I would hope to see more from them, but like I said, lately, within the last, week, it has been a little radio silent. The last thing they publicly tweeted that has kind of relevance to this video, that's not just some other creator or something like that. I'm looking for it here. I believe it was when they banned 2,000 cheaters. Let's see. Yeah, since March 5th, with the support of BattleEye Anti-Cheat, nearly 2,000 have been banned in Tarkov, and then obviously they have the spreadsheet there with all the names that were banned. So, like I said, they're doing a much better job than they were, at least publicly, and the communication side of things has been better. Maybe they were doing this the entire time, just behind the scenes, not public, but now that it's public, I feel like it makes it a lot better because it gives us confirmation that they're doing something, and seeing the usernames that are being banned. A lot of us who might have clips or might have that username typed down somewhere, whatever the case may be, if you recognize a name and you thought that guy was cheating, seeing them get banned gives you a little bit of validation and, a little bit of closure that that guy was cheating and it wasn't just desync. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still a ton of stuff wrong with Escape from Tarkov, but I think we're finally taking steps in the right direction. I think if Battlestate Games keeps listening to the community and, not just listening to one or two guys and also not just listening to the casuals that only play an hour a week, I think, there's definitely a mix of players that need to be heard. There's a small percentage of the casuals that need to have their opinions heard. There's a small percentage of the more chatty, more grinder, more veteran players that need to be heard. And of course, there are a small percent of the streamers that need to be heard too, because they're the ones promoting the game and doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to free advertising for Battlestate Games. So I'm hoping that we can have all this feedback continue to get us positive changes in Escape from Tarkov. And it's nice to come on here and make a video for once that's not me bitching about the game, and it's actually somewhat positive. And the last about 7 to 10 videos that I recorded that weren't actually made live, they were all pretty much in this same kind of meh, it's not the best thing in the world, but it's certainly not negative anymore, and that's a great start. So credit where credit is due to Battlestate Games, trying to make Escape from Tarkov a little bit better for us. And, I don't think I ever made that video about me uninstalling the game. Maybe I'll do that next, and also I might click the reinstall button, so we'll see what happens. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe. Like I said, greatly appreciate it if you could drop a couple subs over on the Acez Plays channel. Would love to get that monetized within the next few days. If you guys can drop that much support from me, it'd be so much appreciated. But yeah, man, it's been an interesting few weeks watching what Battlestate Games is doing, and I hope to see more. Leave that like, subscribe. I'm out.